I like that sometimes your pictures will just look really beautiful or it'll look like pure trash. But that's the beauty of it, and that's why I'm into this hobby. It's really fun. Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Theodore here. Today, due to the coronavirus, we will be doing something a little bit more homey, a little bit more intimate. We're gonna be doing a little Q&A. Now, I have questions about these or this specific type of camera on the daily, literally every day. The reason being is because I posted a video a couple years ago. Okay, my hair real cray. Hold on. So a couple years ago, I posted a video about me fixing like 11 of these cameras, right? And ever since that day, ever since I posted it, it's been a very popular video on my channel. I get questions about these cameras on the daily, and I can't be answering them all the time. They're basically the same questions all the time. So I decided to make this video about this series of camera and answering your guys' questions. Now, just to put it out there, I really no longer use this line of cameras anymore. They're there, but I don't use them. I did mention in that video when I fixed those 11 cameras a couple years ago that I was able to fix these, but I figured after using them, some of them weren't technically fixed. They worked in the sense that they turned on, they would take pictures and everything. The film went through the rollers and everything like that. But there's actually something wrong with the lens. So sometimes when I take a picture, I would see that on the film, like in the corner of the picture, like say like this corner right here, it would be like covered, and I wouldn't know why until I looked at the lens really closely, and there's something that's not fully opened. So I figured that these are just kind of in general crappy cameras, and I don't want to say that because I genuinely really like Fujifilm cameras, and I really like how Fujifilm, the film, is so much better than Polaroid. Oh, hi Winston. You guys don't recognize Winnie anymore. He's so big. He loves butter. I gave him butter once as I was eating bread. I was like, I wonder if he'll eat butter. And he does. He loves butter. Loves butter. But he can't eat that a lot. That's like a very rare treat for him. Very rare. So don't be going on the comment section and be like, you can't feed your dogs butter. Well, you can't feed your dogs a lot of stuff like ice cream and Starbucks puppuccino, but people do it anyways. You know, you only live for a certain amount of time. Might as well, you know, let them enjoy all the flavors of life. By the way, the earrings that I am wearing today is by Ana Luisa. Thank you so much, Ana Luisa, for sending me these earrings. I really like them. Okay, so we're gonna be starting the Q&A now. So I'm just gonna be going down the list from newest to oldest or whatever, or questions that I just see so much about. I'll just kind of summarize it and then answer it for you guys, okay? So the first question I get, actually, I get this question quite often, is between the SQ6 and the Instax Mini 8 or 9, which do you recommend? And it's not a matter of me recommending any of you guys what to buy. It's just really your preference. Do you prefer a square format, or do you prefer like a rectangular format? So it's all really up to you. Me personally though, just because I like bigger format, so I would definitely recommend the SQ6. And to be honest, I really like this camera. I honestly think that they could incorporate this into all of their camera systems. This camera has auto, and then selfie, and landscape, and light, and dark, and there's so much you could do. It also has a self timer, which is so useful when you're doing group pictures. So me personally, because this is only slightly a little bit more expensive than Instax Mini 8 or 9, I would definitely buy this. Although I must say the film is a little bit pricier, but for the quality and just how big the picture is, I feel like it's really worth it to invest in this camera rather than this camera. The Instax Mini line, I feel like, just breaks so easily, and I feel like it's really cheaply made. Yeah, sometimes if you drop it, it could just throw your camera into whack. I also get a lot of questions about the LiPlay. I no longer have the LiPlay. If you guys don't know what that camera is, it's basically like this camera, the Instax Mini 70, but digital. Well, I think I've mentioned this many times before regarding digital film cameras, is that the pictures are very pixelated, and I'm just not into that pixelated look. Like, I don't know if anybody is into that pixelated look. So for me personally, although the SQ6 is nothing compared to like the SQ10 or the SQ20, I still prefer the SQ6 more than the SQ20 because the pictures for the SQ20 or the SQ10 is so much more pixelated. So same with the LiPlay, the pictures are so much more pixelated than these. I mean, although it is more crisp and clear, it just doesn't look quite right on regular credit card size picture for a picture just to look so clear. I don't know, that's just my personal preference. But in terms of the LiPlay, I no longer have it. It was just more like a kiddie camera to me. It's like one of those toy cameras, basically. I mean, there was a lot of cool functions and everything. You could print pictures from your phone into the LiPlay, and basically it's like a Fujifilm share. It's like a Fujifilm printer, but I don't know, I just didn't really care for that. Oh my god, my dogs are so distracting. Jackie said because the lens on the LiPlay is all digital, I just don't like it that much, because when I take the picture, I don't really know how it gets developed. To me, it's just like, I am mind blown, because every time when I put a film pack into the camera, I don't see any lens. I don't see that it's going through anything. I don't know. I just don't like that. Whenever I open the camera, it just makes me feel more reassured to see that there's a lens inside, as opposed to like nothing but like a black wall essentially inside. I don't even know if that made sense. Okay, so this one's a really funny question. Do I really need to put alkaline batteries in here? Yes, you do. And I don't know why. For some reason, if you use lithium battery, although it works, it won't work for very long, and sometimes it could actually ruin your camera. So I have learned to just put straight up alkaline battery on here. But then one of the little sub comment below this girl was saying, no, I put Kodak batteries in my Instax Mini 9, which is so funny to me because Kodak is just a brand. It's not like the chemical component of the battery. So to answer that question, yes, you do have to put alkaline batteries into your Instax Mini camera. It says it right here, use alkaline battery. It's the same for cars. Like if when you drive a car and it says use only premium oil, then you can only buy premium, not oil, premium gas, then you can only buy premium gas. So there you are, use alkaline batteries. And any brand will work. It doesn't have to be Kodak, it doesn't have to be Energizer, it doesn't have to be Duracell, it just has to be alkaline, the chemical component of the battery, not the brand. Another question that I get so often is, why is my film jammed into the rollers? And to be honest, you guys, I have no idea. But I know that that happens to pretty much any camera, but it happens so much more often with the Instax Mini 8 for some strange reason. And for that reason, that is why I kind of stopped using it. But I mean, I've been quite lucky so far with this camera and this camera. These haven't jammed on me yet. Okay, so this is actually a really good question. So, hello, I can't decide between the Canon Zoe Mini and the Fujifilm Instax Mini LiPlay camera. Can anyone tell me which one of these is the best? Thank you. Okay, so I don't know the Canon Zoe Mini, but I do know the LiPlay. But well, let me Google the Canon Zoe Mini real fast. Okay, so I did a little research and I know what the Canon Zoe Mini S is. I had a zink camera for a little bit, the Polaroid Snap, I believe it's called. Yeah, the Polaroid Snap. And the Polaroid Snap is not actually made by Polaroid Originals, it's just made by Polaroid, the company. And Polaroid nowadays doesn't really sell just Polaroid and cameras anymore. It's actually been sold to another company that actually just uses its name to make various electronics like TVs and I don't know, like mouses and keyboards and random stuff like that. It's no longer just Polaroid, it's a lot of other things. So when I bought this Polaroid Snap, I was thinking, wow, this is so cool. I can take pictures and it's gonna come out, and there's like a little sticky on the side that I can stick somewhere. That's pretty cool. That was my mentality back then. But now I just think about it and I'm just like, ew, why would I want it to be a sticker on the back? Why, you know? But I did use it for like a couple pictures and I ended up not liking it at all. I ended up selling it actually because I just didn't like it. The pictures all were like blue and like really orange. It was really bad. The Canon Zoe Mini S looks like a zinc camera, and I mean, although the technology is great to use thermal printing and stuff like that, but I just don't like it. There's not a genuine feel to it anymore. When you take the picture, it just doesn't feel like it came through a real lens anymore. It feels just digital. I mean, although it's kind of cool, but I don't like it. And that goes the same for when like people ask me about the LiPlay or the SQ or the SQ10 or the SQ20. They're great cameras, and I really appreciate how Fujifilm is incorporating digital with old technology like film, but I don't think it's necessary, to be honest, because the pictures just doesn't look that genuine anymore. So that's my take on it. I mean, the Zoe Mini S is a zinc camera printer, but I don't know, I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel authentic. Between the Zoe Mini S versus the Fujifilm LiPlay, quality wise, I think the LiPlay is a lot better than the Canon Zoe Mini S or any zinc type of printer in general, because it uses like a genuine type of chemical process as opposed to thermal printing that the zinc does. Okay, so here's a question I get all the time. Should I get the Polaroid OneStep 2 or the OneStep Plus, or should I get the Instax Mini 9? And I'm just thinking in my head, they're completely different cameras. And if you choose the Polaroid OneStep Plus or the OneStep 2, you have to make the commitment of buying expensive film from now on. So it's really up to you. So if you are in there, if you're buying a Polaroid, just keep in mind you will have to buy or pay more for your film, as opposed to if you buy an Instax Mini 9, the camera will be cheaper and the film will be cheaper, but the Instax Mini 9 also has a lot more problems. I'm not saying that the Polaroid OneStep Plus doesn't have any problems, because it does, and I've experienced that before, but I'm just saying the quality and with the control that you have on the Polaroid OneStep Plus, there's just so much more you can do as opposed to the Instax Mini 9. There you are. Between Polaroid and Instax, I would choose whichever one is economically better for you. Say if you are willing to invest a lot in film, then go buy the Polaroid. It will be so much better. The format is bigger. You can do so much more control. It's a great camera system in general with Polaroid originals, as opposed to the Fujifilm Instax Mini 9. I mean, it's not bad, but it also breaks down really easily. With Polaroid, there's just so much more you can control, as opposed to Fujifilm Instax Mini 9, where you can't really do much other than take a selfie, and most of the time, like 90% of the time, it'll be on high key, and a lot of the features on your face or your friend's face will be washed out because it's just too bright. Okay, another question that I always get is, can I turn the flash off of my Instax Mini? No, you cannot turn. It's always on, and that's the part that just genuinely just sucks about it. And so that's why I tell you guys that if you can, invest in a better camera that you have much more control over, as opposed to the Instax Mini 9 or the Mini 8 or the 7S. You have really no control over that, other than the front part up here where you like can change from the house setting to the cloud setting to the sun setting to the extremely sunny setting and high key. You can only do that, but that's pretty much it, and your flash will always be on 100% of the time because that's just the nature of this camera. You can't do anything about it. So another question that I always get is, should I get the Instax Mini or the Fujifilm Instax Wide? And guys, it's really up to you. Again, if you like bigger format, which I do, I would definitely get the Instax Wide because the film is pretty much the same, I feel like. But if you like a smaller format and like cute and dainty stuff kind of like that, you should definitely get the Instax Mini series. But for me personally, I really like bigger format. I just love to see like the whole landscape of things, just like the bigger picture. So I would definitely get the Instax Wide. Personal preference though, not being biased. I love the Instax Mini Wide. Also, this is my Instax Mini Wide. Love this camera. I think there could be so much more improvements on it. There could be a self-timer, there could be a double exposure, there could just be really a lot more functions, and I feel like this camera is missing a lot, but it's truly one of my favorite cameras because of the wide format. I feel like Fujifilm in general just really knows how to work with film, and it's not like Polaroid originals where the pictures is kind of iffy sometimes. The pictures on here is pretty much guaranteed all the time that it will look good, but as opposed to Polaroid just kind of iffy sometimes. But that's not even a comparison video right now for between the Polaroid versus this camera. But anyways, this lens also doesn't turn off. It never turns off, which I don't like, because sometimes you really don't need flash, you know. Between the Fujifilm Instax Wide and the Instax Mini, I definitely recommend the Instax Wide just because it's bigger, and also the pricing for the film is relatively the same, not much more expensive, and the quality is pretty much on point all the time. Really, it's up to you. Like I said, like if you are willing to invest into this hobby, because trust me, this is a very expensive hobby. If you are willing to spend that kind of money, then I will just go straight up for the Polaroid. But if you aren't quite sure yet, then I would just keep it to the Instax Mini for now. Take pictures. Once you get really used to it and you think you know how to use a instant camera, then I would move up to like a Polaroid. But even then, again, Polaroid film is not always consistent. It always is a little surprise. Each film pack is definitely a surprise. Not every picture will look as you want it to look, but it is Polaroid and it is older technology, so you gotta give it some props for even working at all. Like personally, what do you think you're most comfortable with, like financially, economically? If you're really comfortable with the pricing of Polaroid, then buy that. But if you're not so comfortable with that and the pricing is a little bit like, whoa, that's outrageous, then just stick with the Instax Mini or the Instax Wide. But I don't know, I like Polaroid. It's really fun to take pictures with. I like the camera systems, and I like that sometimes your pictures will just look really beautiful or it'll look like pure trash. But that's the beauty of it, and that's why I'm into this hobby. It's really fun. Alrighty guys, that is it, and that is my take on all of your questions, or majority of them, or the ones that are frequently asked about the Instax Mini 8 and the Mini 9, Mini 7. I feel like I could address a majority of those type of cameras because I feel like all these cameras are basically the same, except for the Instax Mini 11, which is coming out soon on the 20th. I pre-ordered it. Like I said, I don't get sponsorships from anybody. No company wants to sponsor me on this stuff, so I'm purely doing it for joy and for you guys. So I'm pre-ordering it. It's coming on the 24th, and we will be playing with that camera. I will be doing a little video, and so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you so much, you guys, for commenting as always. I know I can't obviously answer everybody, but I really do try. I think about it in my head, have a good answer, but sometimes I just don't reply. I'm just very, very bad at replying. But do know, I read them all, and I really appreciate your guys' questions on Instagram. I do read them, it's just there's so many, and then I just I only answer questions sometimes because I have to scroll back and look at them, and when I do, and I also really appreciate how much you guys are inspired by my videos. To think that people are inspired by me just really, you know, pulls my heartstrings, because I don't know, I'm just a regular person with a passion for instant film and film cameras in general. I really like it, so I'm glad that I am inspiring you guys to like it as much as I do, and just keep that tradition from going away, you know, because nowadays everything is digitalized. Alrighty guys, that is it for today's video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it, and if you do, please do give a thumbs up. And also, as you guys have noticed back there, I have removed all of the little Polaroid pictures that I painted on, because oh my gosh, every time I walked into this room I would cough. I would be like, I was like dying in this room because the oil paint just smelled like oil paint. It was just all up in my nose and I couldn't breathe. And I know it's a waste, but the Polaroid pictures was a waste to begin with, because and none of the pictures turned out good anyways, so I had to throw it away. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to subscribe down below, and also click that bell button so that if anytime I post a new video, you guys will be notified. And also, I also have other socials called @itstheodore, just the same handle as my YouTube, but yeah, some people can't find my Instagram for some reason. But I do have an Instagram that I post a lot of my pictures that I take with on my Instagram, and then I am starting a website called itstheodore.wordpress.com. That is the name of it now. I don't know, maybe I'll change it in the future, but I'm really starting out. I'm just trying to get everything organized. It's a lot of work. I'm a one-man show, so is that the word for it? One-man show. Yeah, I think it is. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this. Please do give a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Adios!